The psalmist goes on to say, even when I'm in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil. Fear is a very serious matter. When I talk about fear, it is being afraid that something bad is likely to happen to me. Being afraid that something bad is likely to happen to somebody I love. Being afraid that something I don't enjoy is the one likely to come next. That is fear. And the psalmist is saying, if the Lord is truly your shepherd, he is able to handle fear, even fear of the shadow of death. That means the fear of dying. He is able to handle it. And so every time you're afraid, you need to understand that there may be implication that your relationship with the shepherd is damaged or weak. When you start realizing that I am not alone, I am with the shepherd. I am in the valley of the shadow of death, I agree, but even there, I am not alone. I'm with the good shepherd. I'm with the great shepherd. I'm with God. Then you start thinking about how great that shepherd is, how able that shepherd is. You realize there is no reason for fear because he can handle whatever it is you are fearing. But fear is negative faith. Faith is believing that what God has promised will happen even before you see it. Faith is described in Hebrews chapter 11 as the substance of the things hoped for, not yet seen. So you start behaving like you have it because you believe God would do it. So you are being very happy, like you believe you'll pass exams. You are studying at peace. Can't even study because they are afraid. You are studying at peace because you believe God has promised. If you study hard, God Himself will help you. So you are not worried about the result. You are not in fear because God will deal with the matter. So fear is a bad thing because it's negative faith. Because positive positive faith is not carrying fears, not because there is no reason to fear, but because you have put that matter into God's hands. Isn't that what he says in the book of Peter? Cast all your concerns, all your cares upon Christ. Why? Because he cares for you. So, how can you carry the care, the fear, when he has promised to carry it himself? Instead, cast it. And here it is not saying place it. Don't allow it to continue in your heart. Throw it out, throw it to Jesus as quickly as possible. Cast it on him. Don't continue to hold it. What is it that you are afraid of? What is it that is causing you fear? Identify it. Know why you are afraid. Then now take that concern to God and you handle it himself. So fear, we have said, is negative faith. In other words, if you want to handle your fear, the best thing is to identify it as a loss of your relationship with the shepherd, lack of trusting the shepherd, lack of believing that the shepherd loves you, or lack of believing that the shepherd is able to carry out that love to handle the problem you have. You have some friends, they may love you, but they can't help you. You are in a hospital bed, the doctor says that what you have is a very bad thing that could even kill. Your friends will be there, but they can't help. They love you, but they can't help. But Jesus is different. He is able to handle any and every problem we shall ever face. If it is sickness, he is the healer. If it's an economic challenge, he is a provider. So we come to where we realize there is absolutely no reason to fear. And handling your fear must start by admitting that your fear is a way of demonstrating that you don't trust in God, that you do not believe in God's love and care, or that the God you believe in is not the real God, that the shepherd who is shepherding you is not the one of the Bible. The one of the Bible is omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. All those are big words for saying he is powerful, he is everywhere, he is always with you. When you believe in him, then the fear goes away because you know you are not alone. So, child, do not be feared. Somebody told me that there are as many as 365 fear nots, using the King James Version of the Bible. One for every day. In other words, there are enough number of words for telling us not to fear for every day of the year. So that at no time does God allow us to fear. And that does not mean that fear will not come knocking on door. We are on earth. There'll be things that make you afraid. Especially when the kind of thing that is coming to you is the type described as the valley of the shadow of death. You have reason to fear. And we who are watching will say you are justified to fear. But you need to understand that the moment you take Jesus as your shepherd, then that reason that has made everybody know you have a reason to fear is because we are all human. It's because we all have limitations. It's because we all have our sell by date. We are not going to be here forever. But the one who is your shepherd, you must know him. You must know that there is absolutely nothing he cannot conquer. That's why when Jesus was on earth, he lived like us. We are told he was tempted in every way, yet without sin. In order to help you to know if the fear is because of your guilt. He himself was tempted in every way, yet without sin. Hebrews tells us because he was tempted in every way, he understands our condition. He is a priest who understands the people because he has gone through what the people have gone through. And it means whatever it is you are going through, God, Jesus Christ on earth went through it and he understands. So, just in dealing with your fear, just take one aspect of the characteristic, the characteristics of God, who God is. First, know that He is eternal. Because He is eternal, it means He has been there before the beginning, He was there, and after the end, He is going to be there. It means that because He's eternal, He knows even the very worst thing happened and you die. Someone is threatening to shoot you. If he actually goes ahead and shoots you and you die, because the God you are really dealing with, the shepherd, has eternity, it means that he'll be with you even in the next life. The scriptures tell us to be absent from this body, in other words, to die, is to immediately be present with God. He is not only with us in this life, he'll be with us in the next life. And that allows us not to fear the transition because he is going to be there in this life through the transition we call death into the next life. He is going to be with you. And so it means that wherever you are afraid, think about God and the fact that He is eternal. And that idea of being eternal will help you to know the small thing that will happen, even if they became worse. The worst case scenario is death. And He has handled death. He's able to handle death. How come He cannot handle the small problems that we are calling valley of the shadow of death? So you have no reason to fear. Another attribute of God that can help us during our fear is God is love. In other words, if you want to know real love, it's God's love. And the Greek had a word for it, I'm told. God's love is what they call agape. And what do they mean? That His love is a love that does not depend on the loved one. The target of the love will be loved, append as append, whether he likes it or not. It is a love that does not, it is not placed on the basis of will the person love back. That's the message of John 3:16. For God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believes in Him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Now the issue is, God that loved the world, sinful world, terrible world. His love did not depend on people changing. He simply loved us. That is agape love. When you start understanding that love, then you know when you are going through a pain, the Lord is with you. And in that pain, you are not alone. He is with you. When you are going through the valley of the shadow of death, the love of God has not been lifted. He still loves you. And because He loves you, He is there in the valley of the shadow of death with you. You are not alone. Because His love is not temporary love, it's an everlasting love. He will always love you. So the psalmist says that even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. What is evil? The kind of things that will make your life miserable, the kind of things that you do not enjoy, the kind of things that will affect, like we have seen, your relationship with God, the kind of thing that will affect your relationship with other human beings, the kind of thing that will give you pain. Those are the fear of evil. That is evil. And you have learned that when whatever the description of the cause of the fear, because of who the shepherd is, you have no reason to fear. You have also learned that if you insist on fearing, you actually are dissociating yourself from the love of the shepherd. Because you can't believe the shepherd loves you, cares for you, and is shepherding you and live in fear. You know, whatever problem you happen to be in currently, even then He is with you, and even then He is the one going to sort it out. You know in your own power you have given up, but place it on God's hands and then wait on Him. In the meanwhile, walk in faith that you are believing God will tackle it. So there's no fear, but the problem is still there because you know God Himself will sort out the problem. So, yes, even though I go through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. Not because evil will not come knocking, but because the God, the shepherd I have, is able to tackle any and every cause of fear So I have no reason to fear.